Hi folks, my name is Jake. Welcome to Canadian Cutting Edge, and today we're looking at the very first petrified fish that I'm going to review. The unboxing was several weeks ago, but this is the first review run. This is the PF838. We've got a D2 blade. You can get it in this stonewash or satin, and it's got a black and a colored G10 handle. You can get it with this OD green or a brownish colored G10 in there. Other than that, that's all the options. This is a big knife, definitely a full-size knife, big enough for a guy with really large hands. Extra large is the large and extra large are the size of hands you want for this knife in terms of, comfort, all that other good stuff. If you're interested, even if you got small hands, but you might want to find something nice for somebody for maybe Christmas, this is under $30 with sheath ripping. With free shipping, is what I meant to try to say, with free shipping to most countries. For us Canadians, if we're ordering knives overseas, it's just part of the risk that a flipper knife might get stopped at the border. We just have to deal with it. That is part of the risk. There are some more knife stores coming up in Canada all the time, but of course knives in Canada tend to be more expensive than the same knives elsewhere, or as far as this knife goes, the only place to get this that I can find is AliExpress for this specific model. You can find some petrified fish knives in some other places sometimes. Links down below. They are referral links. It does help out the channel a little bit when you use my links for your purchases. Without any further ado, let's get this thing on the tabletop and do the full review right now. As most of you are aware, the first thing I do is I get the other tools out of the way and I do a size comparison with the Ontario Rat 1. That is the larger Ontario Rat. Let's line up those pivot pins and see what we've got here. Yeah, we've got a little bit more handle on the petrified fish and more blade, and definitely, if we line up the tips, we've definitely got more cutting edge on the petrified fish as well. And both have D2 steel. Now I've got to go check the site that Lee over at Love Them Knives keeps, where he's had knives tested, but I believe Petrified Fish has come out showing that they've got the steel that they claim to have, and this guy is D2 steel. Right there on the bottom of the flipper tab, which is the guard when it's open, it says D2. And then on this side, it says 838. For model PF, Petrified Fish 838. Other than that, the only other sort of writing on the knife is right there where it says P.F. Petrified Fish. I really, really do like it when they don't have the name slapped all over the knife. So I like that. Let's talk about the blade shape. It's a nice drop point blade, and the radius comes down here. The drop in the belly, it's got a very soft radius and a short section here that's straight. This knife with its full flat grind and that nice chamfer up here, it's a wonderfully slicing knife. It slices just about everything I tried. You can do everything from tomatoes, no problem, to all kinds of harder stuff. It's got a nice tip here for doing any piercing tasks that you might need to do. A fairly thick blade until you get to the last 1.5 inches, and then it starts tapering down to the tip. So it makes for a strong knife as well. The chamfer up here makes it look like it's thin and then goes thicker, but of course it's not going thin and then thicker. It's just that chamfer. Just a little bit of jimping here, 4 little lines milled out across there, and it provides enough grip to be good. I like that. It's not too much jimping and it's not too little. Very, very well done. The liners are highly polished, so your thumb can slide on there quite easily, but that jimping, gives you that grip that you need. Talking some more about this blade, the stonewash is quite aggressive. You can see a lot of the texture. Well, you can't it feels smooth, but it looks like there's texture to it. Very well done. We've got a nice gentle plunge right here. The sharpness choil comes past it all, so it's very, very well made sharpness choil, just the right size to be effective. not too big and not too small. A little bit of chamfering on the side of the blade right there on the tang here by the flipper. And then the flipper has also got jimping on it right there. Well, that's about as close as I can get it to focus. And then, like I said, look at that, the liners. See how smooth they are. They've been rounded off. They've been polished. They look really good. And then we get to the handle, the G10. Nicely inlaid G10 there. Very well done. No seams to catch your finger on, your fingernail. It just fits very well. We've got it rounded over here on the spine of the handle. And then here we've got sort of a scooped section. And then here's another scooped section back here. Just to see all the different shapes on that G10. Very well done. And you've got another section up here, sort of to chamfer off the sides. And then at the back here as well, nice big lanyard hole. What's wrong with this G10? Well, there actually is something that I don't like about this G10, and that is that at the edges here, especially on the belly side, let's get the blade out of the way, it's got a fairly crisp edge right there. Here on this first choil, your main finger choil, there's some chamfering. Let's see if I can get it to focus. There you go. You can see just a little bit of that chamfering right there. That's well done, but they didn't do it on the rest. And even on the back here, because it does create a little bit of heat in the hand when I did extended testing. When I was cutting apart a whole bunch of boxes and things, doing some whittling, I do all kinds of tests, cutting through cordage and rope and stuff. It did get a little hot in the hand because of those sharp edges. That's very, very easy to fix. I've not done it to this because I review knives the way they come from the factory. So that's one of the shortcomings. The pivot pin is non-free spinning, so that's how they can put their name right there, PF, and T8 here, T6 screws here. Comes apart very easily. I'll show you the insides. Actually, yeah, sure, right now. So here it is taken apart. You can see that they've basically polished the steel liners. And there's the stonewash blade, and you can see that it is stainless steel ball bearings. Of course, D-shaped pivot pin. Can't spin freely. Great. Just a well-made knife. A little more skeletonizing would have been nice. But everything looks good. Nice G10 backspacer. Well built. So yeah, it's well made. Just like I was saying about that balance point, it is right about there when I wish it would be right about there. And it would have lightened it up a little bit. And I'll tell you the specs on the weight and everything in just a little while. It feels really good. It's even a little bit drop shutty. Let's see if I can get it to fall. Just a light shake. There we go. It's hard to see. I'll do it on a bit of an angle. Doesn't take much of a shake at all. And it wants to fall. Blade centering, perfect. Just where you want it to be. Lock up, how much of the liner lock is engaged. Perfect for a brand new knife. Maybe it could be actually a little more engaged, and that wouldn't be a problem either. The liners are fairly thick. That's why they had to do their little bit of a relief cut right there so that they could make this lock arm have enough spring tension to push that way. Yeah, decently made. Pocket clip, deep carry pocket clip. I like that a lot. I don't mind the scoop system here at all, where it comes down and it comes flat. That makes it less hot in the hand when you're grabbing the knife. So with that flat section. It says David Chen on there. C-H-E-N for the last name. And 2 T6 screws to hold it in there. But no option for lefties. Especially on a flipper knife, I really like it when they're made left and right friendly, because there are people that use knives with their left hands. I don't know if I know anybody like that. Do you know anybody like that? And yep, that's the basics of this knife. Actually, no, I need to show you how well it looks in the pocket going in and out. And here we go to demonstrate it going into the pocket properly. like that climbs over that edge all the time perfectly. That's nice. And then just goes right in and comes down. You just have a little bit of black G10 sticking out. Not bad at all. The pocket clip holds very well for a bigger knife, and it's not too big. And even though it's got button screws there, there's enough room in there, for it to sink to the bottom very well on a pair of pants. Let's take some time now to go over all of the dimensions while this little measuring tape is on the screen. The weight of this knife, they say that they're 163 or 165 or something on their website. Now, this one's 174 grams, 6.15 ounces, so just over 6 ounces, where, that's skeletonizing. If they would do that, they might get this at 6 ounces. I don't mind 6 ounces, especially a winter carry knife. No problem at all, especially where I live, where it's cold and you're wearing at least a pair of jeans all the time. Sometimes you wear jeans that have flannel linings in them just because it gets cold up here. The factory sharpness, how well did they sharpen this edge? Well, it got 115 bests, very well sharpened from the factory, and the grind angles are done fairly well and quite consistently across there either, unlike the previous CRKT knife that I just reviewed a little while ago. The cutting edge length here, 9.7 centimeters, 3.82 inches. Yep, almost 4 inches. Blade length tipped to the closest spot on the handle here, 9.36 centimeters, 3.68 inches. The blade thickness is 3.84 millimeters, which is 0.151 of an inch. And now for the blade depth, that's this measurement right here, about an inch from the sharpness choil, 2.81 centimeters, 1.11 of an inch. The thickness of the edge right behind the grind right there at that same spot, 0.47 millimeters, which is 18.5 thousandths of an inch. Beautiful. That's awesome thinness behind the grind. D2 can handle being that thin, no problem. I didn't get any chips in it or any problems during my testing, so that's good. The grind angles, 18.1 degrees on one side, 18.4 degrees on the other. And of course, I can't visually tell which is which, just using my naked eye. The handle length is 12.66 centimeters, 4.98 inches, so 5-inch handle. The grip area, it's roughly 10 centimeters, about 4 inches. The handle thickness is 1.67 centimeters, 0.657 of an inch. Oh, that's way too big, Jake. That knife is just huge. Well, yeah, it's a big knife for bigger hands. If it doesn't suit your hands, don't buy it. It's kind of cool how that works. The handle depth, that's this dimension here, 2.8 centimeters, 1.1 inches. And when it's closed, the widest spot here is 3.33 centimeters, 1.31 inches. The total length of the blade and handle when it's deployed, 22.05 centimeters, 8.68 inches, so almost 8 3/4 inches, not too much shy of 9 inches, and that's pretty nice. How much does this knife cost? I already alluded to it or mentioned it before, $29.99 at AliExpress. I've got the link down below. In Canadian shekels, that's $40.44. It's 25.95 euros, 24.11 British pounds. So not bad at all, a very good price for what you get. There's no blade plate side to side. Lockup is solid. The detent, it stays in. It doesn't want to come out. I can shake the knife. You can just see the shadows moving here really quick. When I'm trying to do that, I can't get the blade to deploy without using the flipper tab or, grabbing it over here and doing it two-handed. It just wants to stay closed when it should be closed. And the detent is perfect for opening. Button method works just fine. Light switch method works just as well. They've done a very good job on this knife. Now, petrified fish, some people have told me have got a great reputation. Well, my next petrified fish review, we're going to find that it has a tiny problem, maybe more than a tiny problem. They're not all perfect, but I like to review several of them before I decide my opinion on it. But hopefully I'll get the other petrified fish reviewed. I'm thinking by the end of September, but maybe not. We'll see. What's the general feelings of this knife? I like it. If you're looking for a larger knife and you're on a budget, $30 US, that's a very good buy for this. The changes that you might want to do are easy for you to do at home, like do a little bit of sanding, and that's about it. If you want to drill out a little bit on the liner on this working side, drill a hole in the back there if you want to make it a little bit lighter. Take it apart first when you do that. And that might help the balance point and save you just a tiny bit of weight. It looks good. It functions well. It's got a very good blade shape, very useful, very good bevel on it. They've done a good grind on it. The G10, it looks really good. The inlay here, I suspect the brown ones are going to be the same. And then you get your choice of satin or stonewash. I happen to prefer stonewash, but I know that satin I like the looks of satin better, but stonewash doesn't show off my fingerprints as much. So what are the cons on it? Well, like I said, a little bit more skeletonizing would have been a good thing at the end here, and a little bit of sanding to smooth that out. And the only other thing is make a left-handed pocket clip. So if you're right-handed, which is 90% of you, and you want a bigger knife, the things that are a little bit odd on this knife, or not odd, but a little bit off, are easy to fix. And then you've got a great knife at a great price. I am definitely going to be buying more petrified fish and reviewing more of them. Thanks so much for watching my channel. Patreon supporters, you guys are awesome. I appreciate you very much. And I thank you for helping me out regularly. I'll probably be doing a knife sale in October. And I'll let you guys know first about those knives. And once you've had a day or so to look over which knives I've got for sale, then I'll open it up to the public. So what are the benefits of becoming a Patreon supporter for Canadian Cutting Edge? Well, what I just said, you get first dibs on the sales, and you get a chance to win one of the knives that I reviewed in the previous month. So you get put into a draw every single month to win a knife of your choice from the previous knife reviews of the previous month. I know I could have said that in a better way, but there you go. I think you understand what I mean. So just go to patreon.com/CCE if you want to join up. If you can't afford it, or you just have other reasons for not supporting through Patreon, that's just fine. And other ways to support me are use the links down below, share, like, subscribe, comment. Comments really help. And as always, remember to cut towards your chum, not your thumb. I know that doesn't help me that much, but it'll certainly help you. Bye for now.